we're going for our next computer. This is the Non-Linear Systems Kaypro II. This is from 1982. This is the second portable computer. After the Kaypro II line became successful, Non-Linear Systems branched off Kaypro as their own separate company, and they later made the Kaypro IV, the Kaypro X, the Kaypro 16, and several other models, including the Kaypro 2000, which was a more conventional laptop. That had a regular LCD screen with a regular, and I believe is actually one of the first to use the conventional clamshell design that we now know from all laptops. So I'll take the power cord off. This computer is not expandable in any way. Just turn this around. So this is the back. We have a power connector down there. We have a fuse, the switch, little reset button, which is always nice. This is our serial port. We have a Centronics printer connector. This is just a regular parallel interface, but the connectors are a Centronics connector because they were the first to use it. We have a brightness adjustment, and we have our keyboard connector. This is the same telephone type connector that the IBM PC used on the front. I'm sorry, the IBM portable PC. A little serial number down there. This is Kaypro, made by Non-Linear Systems. Non-Linear Systems was founded by the inventor of the digital multimeter back in the 1950s, and I believe his name was Alan Kay, which is where the name Kaypro comes from. This is the Kaypro II, which is the first computer that Non-Linear Systems ever made. They just called it the II to match up with Apple II, which was popular at the time. Turn this around to the front. I must admit, this is one of the nicest computer cases I've ever seen. This is aluminum, and I really like the paint job. On the side, you can see the logo there. Since Non-Linear Systems made a lot of test equipment, the computer actually looks like you're going to take the front off and have an oscilloscope or something. It really looks like a piece of test equipment. Just back around to the front. Keyboard pops off like that. And we have our connector, which we plug in. And then we'll have to also go around the back and plug in. And then once everything is plugged in, this lifts up, maybe. And the computer rests on the keyboard like that to give you a nice viewing angle. If I can get it on straight, it would be even better. So as you can see, this model, this Kaypro II uses the full height floppy drives. These are single-sided, so they're only 180K. About this one is CPM, so I think the actual usable size is about 192K because CPM uses a different file system than MS-DOS does. MS-DOS uses FAT, whereas CPM has their own file system. So we'll open these up here. Take our little head protector sheets out. Since this is a portable computer and you're going to be carrying it around, you're going to make sure that the heads in your floppy drives are protected from banging into each other. Apparently this wasn't an issue for IBM since the portable PC didn't have these. I went in both drives. And now I'll be right back because now I have to find out what my discs are for this. So 1 second. Okay, I found my discs. So we will put CPM in. Should probably also plug this computer in. That would be useful. So we're waiting for it to warm up before I close the drive door because I want to show you how quickly this thing boots. So when the screen comes up, it asks for a disk. Hope you can see that. I may turn off some lights. to make it more apparent. I guess you can read that. So it asks for a disk. Let me close the drive door. And it booted basically instantly. So this is CP/M version 2.2. This is an 8-bit computer. It has, I believe it has a 2.5 megahertz Zlog Z80A processor. So this is a little bit slower than the IBM since it's only 8-bit. The demonstration programs that I have some utilities. I have WordStar. I'll show you that. Perfect Calc. Pascal. One of my favorite languages is Pascal. I use that a lot for my old computers. An editor to edit Pascal files. And oops, that's an Osborne one. I'll save that for later. So, you can let's put WordStar in. One thing to note is a lot of the software like WordStar and Perfect Calc and I think a couple other things were sold with the computer. So when you pay, I think the list price for this was $1,700. So when you paid that, you also got CP/M for free, WordStar for free, Perfect Calc for free, and I believe a couple other utilities you also got for free. So you basically, I think they said you got about $500 of free software with your computer, and it was heavily advertised that way. And because of that, a lot of people bought these computers just for the free software and just set these on their desk and then didn't take them anywhere. They just bought a portable computer just for the free software and never ported it anywhere. Go to drive B. You notice a lot of the DOS and CP/M commands are the same, and the reason for that is MS-DOS was actually intended to be a 16-bit incarnation of CP/M. Back in the late 70s when Intel came out with the 8086, which was the first 16-bit microprocessor, there was no 16-bit CP/M at the time, so a small company called Seattle Computer Products wrote a 16-bit operating system they called the 86-DOS, which was based on CP/M, and the idea was so that the CP/M user could move to 86-DOS and feel basically at home, and also so that they could easily port their programs. The CP/M system call is call 5, and MS-DOS also implemented that so that to change your CP/M programs to run on MS-DOS, all you had to do was run them through a translator, which would translate the 8080 opcodes into 8086 opcodes, or assembly mnemonics, and your program would run fine on DOS. You didn't have to change any system calls or anything. So that's the reason why DOS is so similar to CP/M. And then Microsoft later bought DOS from Seattle Computer Products and renamed it and sold it as their own to IBM. And the reason for that was because CP/M, the writer of CP/M, Gary Kildall, couldn't get along with IBM in their non-disclosure agreement with their secrecy regarding the PC. But all of that is irrelevant right now. We're going on with the demonstration of WordStar. One thing to note is this computer has no graphics, so it's text-only screen and only black and white, or in this case green and white. Notice it says Kaypro computer here because this was originally shipped with the computer. So it's asking for if you want to open a document file, so let's create one. And create a new file and bring us into WordStar. We can start typing. Okay, so the nice thing here is we have the arrow keys. Not all computers at this time had arrow keys, so there were like Control A and different things moved your cursor around the screen. See, if you notice up here, Control A is word left, Control F is word right, Control D is character right, Control S is character left. So if you don't have the arrow keys, you can use Control letters to move your cursor around. So as we can type in, we can do a little bit of formatting if we want. I haven't done a lot of formatting with WordStar, just played around with it a little bit, and I'm just giving you a little overview and demonstration of these computers. This is not meant to be an exhaustive demonstration. Once you've seen this, we can move on to Perfect Calc. Just get a little bit idea of what spreadsheet was like back in 1982 on your portable computer. Floppy drive is acting up again. Let's try that so we can reset this. See, it does boot pretty fast when you hit the reset button. It basically just reads a couple of tracks off the disk and boots immediately. Also notice here 64K. That is the maximum memory for an 8-bit computer. Other 8-bit computers like the Apple II, or the Apple IIc, which have 128K, have to use bank switching to get around the 64K limit. Since the 8080 and the Z80 only have 16 address lines, the maximum they can address is 64K. So that's the limit for 8-bit computers such as this. And there we have our spreadsheet. So we can enter some numbers in. See if I can figure out the formula for this. Oops. If I could do things right. Yes, so then you can enter your sum. So formulas work similarly to Microsoft Excel. We have our row numbers here, column letters there, also similar to Excel. Microsoft Excel didn't come out until, I believe, 1987 or 1988. So it could borrow a lot of these features from other programs at the time. The original spreadsheet program was VisiCalc, and that was for the Apple II. I will be showing you one older spreadsheet program today, which is a little bit harder to use due to the limits of the computer. So as you can see, this computer has a, for the time, large 9-inch screen. Notice the difference between that and the next computer I'll show you. So, the final computer I'll be showing you today is the Osborne 1. This computer is from 1981. This is the very first portable computer on the market. As you can see with this one, the screen is much smaller than the Kaypro II. The Kaypro II had a 9-inch screen. This is only a 5-inch. Another interesting thing about this computer versus the other ones we've seen is that all of the I/O is on the front panel. So we have a modem connector over here, which is, I think it's just a TTL serial port, and then the modem plugs in there, and then you can set it up here in one of these slots. We have our serial RS-232, we have an IEEE 488, we have our keyboard connector, we have the brightness, contrast, we have an external video connector, a reset switch, and battery connector. I have never seen the type of battery you would carry along with this, but I imagine it would be pretty large. we can connect our keyboard. This only goes in one way, and of course I will try it the wrong way first. The right way first. This is not the, well, this is not the original keyboard cable. The original one was a ribbon cable and had a different connector, I believe. This does go in one way or another. Just seem to never get it on the first try. One second, please. Okay, so I've got my keyboard connected now. We'll get some discs out here. The two slots here and here are designed for disk storage, but they also made a modem that fits in there, and I imagine some other peripherals too. The only one that I've seen that sits in one of those slots is the modem. It plugs in down here and then sits in this slot up here. So we have our boot disk. We have Roadstar, SuperCalc, and I think this is just a blank diskette or the label fell off somewhere. We'll start with the boot disk. These drives are even lower capacity than the Kaypro II. These are single density, so I believe each disk holds about 90K. I did want to try and put a Pascal compiler and try it out on this computer, but I couldn't get it to fit on the disk. So we'll turn this on. While the screen is warming up, I'll show you some other things I got with this computer. I've got the keyboard overlays. So these would sit, I'll try one at a time. These would sit over the keyboard like this, and they'll tell you what commands are for different things, in case you forget. Since these computers and programs were not mouse-based, in a way they did have graphical user interfaces, as you saw with Roadstar and Perfect Calc, but you had to know a lot of commands for doing different things, because you couldn't just click on things with the mouse. So these overlays remind you of what the commands are for different programs. This one is for DBase 2. Have one for MBasic, that's a basic compiler, which I believe came with this computer. And we have our Roadstar commands. Since we'll be using Roadstar, we may as well put that one on. So it's asked for a boot disk in drive A. Now that we get our menu on the screen. I think I'll move this a bit closer so you can actually see what the screen says, since it's so tiny. That should be beautiful. So we got our list of options. A little bit closer yet. Yeah, hopefully that should be beautiful for everyone now. So we got a list of options based on what we want to do. So one of my favorite things to do here is letter Z says self-portrait, so we'll just do that. And as you can see, the Kaypro, the Osborne rather, gives us a self-portrait of everything it has. We have disk drive A, disk drive B, monitor, all our I/O, and our extra disk storages. If you need help, you can look up different things, like for example the I/O ports, and it gives you a little bit of information about everything that's on there. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just give you a little overview. Oops, an overview of what we have here. And if we want to go to CPM, there should be an option for that. Yes, escape. And now we are at the CPM prompt. As you can see, there's a lot less programs on this disk than there were on the Kaypro disc. So let's try Roadstar. So as you can see, well, this has two tones. We have white colors and dark colors. And if you notice that the text goes off the screen here, that is because the standards of the time called for an 80-column screen, but this screen only has 52 columns because it's so small. If you wanted to see everything that was on the screen, you would press Control and arrow over different directions to scroll the screen to get all 80 columns. Same thing with up and down. See, we're missing some things down here too. And that's how you move around to get your entire screen. They're kind of touchy, they just jump all over the place. So let's try, let's see, D. Of course, I could just look at my command thing here, not paying attention. And Roadstar is essentially the same as it was on the Kaypro II. Just a bit more cramped and a bit more annoying because you have to move the screen over to get everything in view. So I'll just do a quick demonstration of SuperCalc, which should be basically the same as what we just saw on the Kaypro II. One interesting feature of CP/M is that once you exit a program, it often has to load some of CP/M itself back into memory. So I'll see if we can get out of Roadstar here. So let's see what menu we want to do. Control KQ, I think, will work. Control K, Q. In an edited version, yes. And then we want to exit. Oh, I didn't have to do it this time. Okay. Sometimes when you exit a CP/M program, it asks for the boot disk to load parts of CP/M back in, and then it says warm boot. But I guess we didn't need to do that in this case. So we can go right over to SuperCalc. Again, this should just be basically the same as we saw on the Kaypro. I'm just going to give you a little bit of demonstration here. As you can see, it looks pretty similar. The only difference we see so far is that we have an underline instead of brackets on either side of the cell. But it should work. That's different. See if we can enter formulas the same way. Enter call to jump to. That's not really what I wanted, but we'll try anyway. Oops. That didn't work. So apparently this has different formulas than the other programs that I've showed you. But it's essentially the same idea. Again, it's just a little more cramped because you have to scroll your screen. Oh, this actually needs to be formatted to this screen size. So apparently this program knows that it's on an Osborne 1 and formats its screen size appropriately. So this won't actually be too bad to use on here, except that you have to almost squint to read the numbers. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration of a variety of 1980s portable computers. This video is actually a bit longer than I expected it would be, but I hope you found it interesting and informative, and you can compare the steps that technology has taken both between these computers and from these computers up to the present day, where we have computers on our wrists. And if it would work, that would be nice. There we go. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.